I'm your host, Effie Pilarino, and today I have a guest that is a recurring guest, Dr. Martha Beeckenfeld. Welcome, Martha, to the show. For the audience that is seeing Martha for the first time, Martha is the founder of Marthaverse. Marthaverse is a space in the metaverse where Martha hosts different experiences that are cross-industry. Maybe we'll have the opportunity to talk a little bit about that. She's also the Dean of the Metaverse Academy, which is an educational initiative, a global educational initiative, offering companies and people the opportunity to understand and create experiences and engagements in the metaverse. Today we are here really to talk because of the launch of the Apple Vision Pro. It's a great opportunity to discuss exciting topics and discuss about the convergence of these advanced technologies and the different positioning of the players. So Martha, welcome. I'm very excited to discuss. The space is so vibrant that even if we discussed once a month, there'd be amazing topics to talk about.
Yeah, thanks, Effie, for having me today. As you say, you could talk every day about a new topic. And obviously, the latest news we have seen 2 days ago is the Apple Vision Pro, which was for us, for everyone, we all have been waiting for. But then you also have had people saying, it will not be what you expect. And it's indeed not maybe what we expected, but it's more in certain senses, and it's maybe less in other senses. So it will lead to a new area. Is this the next big thing like the iPhone? I believe so. There are also different voices, but I'm very excited to talk to you about the new technology, you can say, which is not new in the sense that I've been working on it for 7 years now and more, 5,000 patents, and it just came out very recently. So we haven't tried it yet all, but I think we're all eager to try it as soon as possible, only coming beginning of 2024, unfortunately.
I like to sort of joke about the fact that Apple has Apple Pay Later service, and there's other buy now, pay later providers for all those that complain that the price is very high. In any case, we'll talk about the price and the positioning of this product. But before we go into this, I wanted to take this opportunity to really understand the distinction between different terms that are thrown around in this space and are a bit confused and not well understood. So let's start with all the XRs, meaning, we have augmented reality, we have virtual reality, we have extended reality. What are each of those, and where does Apple Vision Pro fall, in what category?
Yeah, I think the best to think about it is actually there were some researchers, I think in Japan in 1994, they described it as a continuum, where you start with the reality, the environment we are really in, and then you go into augmented reality, which means that we can see things in front of us. We place digital objects in the place in front of us. And a lot of people are already familiar with it. If you think about IKEA, for example, when you try to do a new space in your living room and you change the furniture, this is already the beginning where you can see, okay, it's not I'm not fully in this virtual world, but I can try different things. It gets augmented with different pieces. So everyone knows it incidentally when using those apps. And then it goes basically from reality into augmented reality. And then from augmented reality, we're going further in this continuum into the virtual reality. And virtual reality is, for example, the Metaverse. Also, it's a bit more than only virtual reality, but the virtual reality is really something where everything is virtual. You feel like
the sneakers, the digital Nike sneakers
are
virtual reality,
Our
right?
virtual reality, they're digital assets. When you talk about virtual reality, I think we think about it more because real is a space around us. So virtual reality is also a space around us, but this space doesn't exist. So very often when we dream, we are in a virtual reality already. Or when we play games, we are in a virtual reality. So also there's nothing to be scared about or nothing new. These are all good examples for us to make it real. And in this continuum, we basically move from what is real into augmented, into also virtual. And what happens now is that you can use this different, you can mix real with virtual, you can mix real with augmented reality. So I have seen a colleague of mine, he has business cards now where he himself is dancing on the business cards. So in your iPhone. So he shows the iPhone, and everything is, he comes out as a little dancing. You also have that in children books, even that you have dancing or you have characters coming out, all augmented. And
jumping out of the book, so to speak, in a 3D image.
Exactly. So what is also for us could be very helpful. We go through the streets and we see then a big building. And if we want to buy it, we don't have to put the iPhone there. We can just already see, okay, this is the building, or we don't need anymore to look at the iPhone because we can walk through the streets and see everything, whatever we want to see. So the endless possibilities. And this is really the world of augmented reality, the one also other part we preempting a little bit, but Apple is very much into the augmented reality. So how they have called it, and what that's really caught my attention, what I find very exciting is the world is your canvas. So you make everything which is around you your canvas. So you are like an artist, you are like Bensky who does a graffiti no matter where he is allowed or not. So that also causes some challenges for us. Can we now go into an airport and make the airport world our world? Yeah, is this our space? Is it digital airspace? Is that something to whom does it belong? Does the digital air belong to the airport or whatever? It's a different question, but that shows you also the more we go into different worlds, and that's not even the virtual world, this is a real world, and I augment it with digital assets. So I feel like I'm in it in a different world. I can have full landscapes around me, which make it what we call immersive. So I feel like I'm at a lake now. I'm in the mountains. I'm at the ocean. So I already have the feeling of a virtual feeling, but I'm not even in the virtual reality yet.
I understand. And when I saw some of the parts of the presentation when Apple was showcasing the capabilities of Vision Pro, and when they were showing how all the apps, the App Store basically, or the Apple App Store that we're all familiar with all the apps and the software, it exists in this virtual world. And it reminded me of the direction that we're going anyway, where we won't need the large hardware that we have, our laptops, our desktop computers, our phones, but we could have these interfaces on any surface, be it our hands or sort of in the air, just there.
You mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Also, there was a company called Human, which I also have showed when we were at the conference. So where someone just had as an ex-Apple employee who is the founder, he had just his hand and had the hand as a display. So if we think about the world as your canvas, it can be obviously your space here, but it could also be your hand. It could be anything you choose. And as you correctly point out, you don't need the heavy hardware anymore. You don't need, now you need also Apple Vision Pro is like a little bit like ski gear. So it's still quite heavy, but if you look behind it, what it has in terms of technology is amazing how far they came. They have like 23 million pixels. They have 2 chips. They have 3D camera, which is very new, that you can do a video in front of you. You can do pictures all in 3D. This is all amazing and hasn't been there. And it's so small. Yeah, so everything is changing. And when we remember also, someone was saying to me, will you wear this headset? I say, remember when we had the first phone, which was like a smartphone in quotes, wasn't even a smartphone yet. We had like this, look like huge satellite phones. Many people don't remember anymore because they're too young for that, but it's a matter of the transformation. And this looks heavy now, but it's much lighter. It has a typical, beautiful Apple design that you have seen. So it is also has only a strap. It has the AirPods. It's a very designed experience, beautiful, basically object, which also translates to everything Apple is about.
Although I've heard a lot of criticism about the fact that it has this battery that you need to be connected to.
It has only 2 hours battery. As I say, there are always the people who say, oh, not good enough, too heavy, because it should be like your sunglasses. It's 2 hours battery, so what's the use? And you will have that at the beginning for sure.
100%. Am I correct that when you wear these goggles, if you want, can you see? I understand that the other people can see your eyes, so you're not sort of completely in your own space, but can you also see outside?
There is also, this is quite different from Meta. So first of all, Meta is very much not, we are in reality and we augment, but just also to tell people maybe who are not that familiar with it, that you go into an immersive world. So when you think about Apple, it's a reality and you augment it. When you think about Meta, is you are in a different world already as an avatar. So what you are mentioning is the so-called eyesight. So when you are in the virtual world, you are only in the virtual world. You don't see, you don't, I mean, you
don't have a contact with the physical place where you are.
No, because you remember when you also did it, then even people around you, you start to not, and if someone talks to you or if someone grabs you, you are like, oh my God, what is happening now? But Meta has what is called pass-through. So you do a circle around you where you are comfortable. That's your security circle. But once you step out of this, you can see everything a little bit cloudy, you can say. So what Apple has done very differently is they have called it eyesight. So if someone approaches you and you want to connect with that person because you think like, you know, your husband, your child, your family, your friends, your colleagues, want to quickly talk to you, you have the possibility that they can see your eyes, so it's eyesight, and you can see them. So you don't need to have this pass-through because you are in the real world, it's augmented, you feel like you can also make it immersive, but you still have this very close contact. And that is for Apple one of the keys also they have communicated. We want people to stay real. We want people to be in reality. We don't want people to escape like we have seen in Ready Player Me and all the science fictions. However,
it's Pokemon Go at a very advanced level, right?
Absolutely. Or we have seen science fiction. We have seen Minority Report where you had Tom Cruise had everything like on this is how you do it. So the beauty is also compared to Meta. Meta has the headset and you have controllers. So here, as you were mentioning, you have the headset and you use your fingers for controlling. So you are much, much more free as it is. You use your voice. Yeah. So now if you go next level and you connect that with a brain chip interface, which is now approved from Elon Musk, you can also think about it in a way that you can control with your thoughts what is happening in augmented reality. So you can connect also these different devices in the future. They haven't talked about it for sure, but the sequence of events which comes now is very interesting, and how you connect is different, not only in the Apple ecosystem but beyond. So Meta and Apple have also one thing which is quite, I would say in certain senses the same, is the ecosystem play. So Meta has everything around the social media, and Apple has everything around the ecosystem, which is obviously wider for the usage because they don't have to depend on social media. They don't have to create something for social.
They have the app store and that kind of
the app store, which is the core, and also where they basically also have due to the ecosystem they create. That's how they create the customer lifetime value. You know, I mean, I'm totally addicted to Apple. So they're now also reaching out to a lot of developers, do more apps for the Vision Pro. So that will be amazing, because a lot of developers will use this opportunity. And the big thing, another big thing, so we have mentioned a bit of the technology, but if we go through the use cases, you can use it for home, for your home entertainment. You can use it for home entertainment in extended sense, that also they have the partnership with Disney now, so they will do something special with Disney. They have just shown us glimpses, so it's not yet there. But the really, really big thing is the partnership, no partnership, but they are using Unity game engine. And that is a total breakthrough. So we have talked about it before. If we think about gamers, every third, so 3 billion people are gamers. So nearly every third person is a gamer. Yeah. And how you now can use the gaming is not only for entertainment. Today, gaming is for community building. Today in gaming, you talk about things, you do create things together. Social, it's total social. So it's a social place which they will create in a different way from Meta. And that's also why we know Microsoft did buy activation, and everyone is buying into gaming, because this is a new real growth where it's coming from. Gaming produces 2021 180 billion revenues. That's bigger than Hollywood and music together. So that's why also Netflix goes more into that area. It seems like we all love to play and love to game, but in different ways. Is the community, is the connect, is the social place. So you have the entertainment, you have the gaming, you have the home, and you have work. So what really was impressive, and we have talked a bit about it before, is the Microsoft apps. You can use them all. So now think about the Microsoft apps, which are already Microsoft has created Copilot, where all the AI is connected to the app. So you use your voice, you create an Excel sheet. You use your voice, you create a PowerPoint presentation. So everything is also coming together. So they don't even have to do the AI themselves. They can use what is there from Microsoft. And they have not announced a partnership with Microsoft. They're just saying this is part of the platform, is open in quotes. So it's very interesting. I think this Unity, Microsoft, Disney is massive what they are doing there, because they're extending the ecosystem while it's keeping it what we call walled garden. So they keep it's their home turf, but they're making it so wide that is so attractive that you spend your entire life on, not only on the iPhone anymore, forget your iPhone, you will spend it in the space you create, in the world you are in.
This is interesting. And by the way, I'm a 50-50 Apple person, meaning my computers are Apple, but I'm an Android, I'm a Samsung person. But I see here that, I could be using the Apple headset, because all the software that I use on my computer goes in that world, is already there.
Yeah, and I think there are two also, as we see with iPhone. Some people only use the iPhone, they don't use the iPad anymore. Some people use iPad, iPhone, Apple, but for some it's a complete replacement. So that's why also some say, why is Apple replacing themselves? But it's very smart, because consumers have different choices, one, but second one, as we know in innovation, Jeff Bezos always said, disrupt yourself. So disrupt yourself, forget all the devices you have. They haven't done that. They have connections to every device. So you can, beautiful, as you say, you have a presentation on your MacBook. Yeah, talk to your MacBook, please put up the presentation. And then the next level, which I found is just super amazing. We talk about avatars, we talk about digital twins, and yes, here we go. So you are on FaceTime and you create your own digital twin. This is created with machine learning. So it's beautiful because it's you. You don't need to create an avatar. And what you can do now with augmented reality, if you combine also, they haven't shown it, but if you combine it, you can dress whatever you want, right? I mean, you can put on everything. And we have seen that in with Nike. Nike has a hoodie, for example, which they send to people who have their sneaker and have all this went all the things on creating NFTs and so on. But on the hoodie, they have this augmented reality wings. So if you activate them, so you can exactly do the same. You can have wings.
Yeah, we could be recording this interview with our virtual clothes on instead of our actual clothes.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. You can obviously all the other questions are coming with this deep fake. Whom are you talking to? But Apple so far was very good, and that was another point they highlighted: privacy and security. So the disadvantage of Apple in walled garden is always there will be walled gardens. The big advantage is it's all Apple, it's encrypted, it's you. So different from what we have seen, for example, with Meta, Facebook, and what is already reflected in the big social dilemma on Netflix. Everyone should see that series. Is that is this data getting used? So when you are doing something and you like, for example, you like to look at what is the next on the internet, will you get prompt advice in augmented reality? Oh yeah, you can buy X, Y, Z. So for the time,
because it's an advertising business.
it's an advertising, but that's not what Apple is doing right now. I mean, they're very strict in their policy, so that's why it's very different. Where is your behavior data going? And so far, they have said everything stays with you. You are the owner of your data. You don't have advertisement. You don't have all this. It could be for some people's convenience, but we shouldn't also omit the fact that a lot of people have written about the surveillance capitalism and what that means for us and so on. This doesn't go away. We have to think about it harder with all the convenience we create. So that Apple is Apple and has a system where you are locked in a way to the system, has also certain advantages. But if someone wants to misuse it, it's obviously also a big thing with all your data. And the other thing is what they have also clearly stated, that if you use an app, the app doesn't see really where you are, doesn't see your surroundings. It's important because just imagine, I mean, you can create tons of apps where, okay, here is where you are, here's what you want to do. We have seen that in Google, we know where we are, yeah.
But that's location awareness, right? I mean, supposedly it's my choice and your choice. If our phone...
But it goes beyond, so you can see your home. If theoretically, this is not, Apple has very clearly said you can't see the space, the world I'm using, yeah. So you can't see that, and it's all encrypted. So and the digital twin technology is also interesting because they have first time used optic ID. So with your eye, which we also know from a lot of movies with Tom Cruise and others, where your eye is used for recognition. So this is all new, and I can also imagine that this new technology will translate to some of the other devices.
Martha, may I interrupt you? The biometric ID through our eyes is not new. What is new here? Is it an advanced version of this biometric technology that exists both for our fingerprint, but also for our eyes? And we in the West, I think, have been accusing the East for adopting such technologies.
I think the optic idea, the combination optic ID and creating a digital twin, that is something which is, you do that usually obviously also with a camera, and it sounds quite similar, but the way then it connects with machine learning, that is something which hasn't been there before. So no one has really created a digital twin in the way that they do it, that you basically take it's like a camera. It all sounds so simple, but the combination of these different components is what it makes it new. Augmented reality we have seen before, 3D cameras we have seen before, but the size and the quality with the 23 million pixels, with 2 chips, and you have even, like, if you wear glasses like you wear, you cannot put the goggles on, but they have a partnership with Zeiss. So you get prescriptive. I mean, all these things are very oriented towards people. So that's always what Steve Jobs' mantra is. Steve Jobs always said is you have to start with customer experience and then go backwards to technology. And the beauty Apple always is able to deliver, they make it seamless. So you don't care about the chips and what is in there and what we all talked about and the hardware. You care about how it feels for you.
And it's important, Martha, that, you know, it so happens that there's all this, if you want, hype around the metaverse and so on. But as you said, Apple has been working on this for over 7 years. It's not something that, you know, they put out there quickly for the next earnings call. So
yeah, and the philosophy, when you look at how they're presented, what they present, apart from the fact is different. One is in the metaverse and the virtual world and connects different things. And here we are really reality. He is not using the word virtual reality. He's not using AI. He's not using metaverse, because he knows that these are all also words which have been used for different meaning and people are scared about it. And Apple is really a very trusted brand. So I would say that if people go to Apple, they know, they trust, they love the beauty, they love the experience. They know that it's safe when they go to Facebook.
And having Disney as their first partner makes it so homey, so familiar, so, you know, like we've all sat in a couch, in an armchair, alone or with friends or with family, and watched the Disney movie. So it really, we have that experience in ourselves.
I think that's the beauty here. What they connect to is what we know. So they connect to exactly what you say, to Disney. They connect to gaming, which also, I mean, you and I maybe not the perfect examples, but they also connected to Microsoft. I mean, despite the fact that we are using Apple, we don't have all our applications because like we use PowerPoint, we don't use Keynote and stuff like that. So we are all very much in the world between working, Microsoft 345 million Teams members, and Microsoft has a partnership with Meta. So it will be very interesting to see how this works and how these two, because Apple can basically, even without the partnership, they can, you know, they can use Microsoft like you can do on any device. So that's a very interesting one. No one has really talked about it yet, yeah, because I think no one really thought it through. But this will be something. It's like the big thing, and with the tech companies, you have Apple, you have Microsoft.
How the dynamics will unfold, we shall see.
We shall see. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. The other thing that impressed me, and I've been thinking about, is the fact that, you know, when we start adopting this world or these experiences, we will train ourselves to use our fingers, our hands, in a different way than we are used to. And I was thinking before we spoke today of you know, there's this French philosopher that wrote a book, it's more than 10 years ago, about the thumb generation, the generation of the thumb. The book, I think, was called Thumbelina, the generation, the millennials, because obviously with texting on smartphones and so on, they are used to using, you know, the thumbs and the fingers so well, versus, you know, us who grew up not, you know, born into the smartphone world. And now we're going to go to a next level, right? With these movements of a hand.
Yeah, we just do like this. I mean, I'm always like, oh my God, you know, when I see my little nieces and they are on the TV and I try to do touch screen, because there's no touch screen, but there is no touch screen on the TV at all. It's but what they use from iPad and things you touch, right?
Exactly.
So now we will see the next generation.
Yes, this will
make it like this, you know, that
a big adoption, you know, in this world. I think
just one thing with that, because you highlight this, everything obviously, as you know, we do through haptic, also will resettle our brain.
Yes.
we will be
We'll become more Italian because the Italians use, right, their hands more. Our body language will change. Who knows?
I think the two of us are very, anyway, Italian. We don't need to learn this, but it is.
I don't need to learn it.
No.
So let's talk a little bit about financial services, because financial services are open to the metaverse, right? Are open, I mean, to customer experiences. They're trying to catch up with the tech world. But I mean, the truth is that they have been improving. We have customer experiences, whether we think about embedded finance in general, digital financial services, trying to go where the customer is and provide delightful customer experiences, right? So what do you think will happen here, and what does it mean for financial services, this new world that is unfolding?
Yes, we know that some financial services, in particular in Korea, have already started to be in the metaverse and have all these experiences with digital twin or even AI bankers. So we are not that far here in the Western world, but what we can imagine different from immersive, I think the step is now much closer to do something really, really nice for financial services, and some of the apps already exist. The biggest challenge for consumers is, one is obviously they want to see their advisor. So it's much nicer to see the digital twin of the advisor in your space. So he can come by and can have a coffee
and sit with you in your living room and have a discussion.
Also, again, if we think a little bit, not many years ahead, but maybe 5 years ahead, there's also hologram technology is there. So you can sit with your financial advisor with the hologram. Everything is very natural. You have your whatever available on, and he has it, and you can talk. So that is obviously a very direct. The other thing, which is very difficult for consumers and financial services, is this: how do we make it tangible? How do I feel it? How do I feel what my financials are? And when you have augmented reality, you can also, with 3D objects, make it more visible to them. Alone the fact that when you have these graphics that are in 3D and that are big in front of you, like, okay, your money goes like this, and it's big in front of you, and you can almost touch it, or your money goes like this. This is a big difference.
Or it's this part of the house that you dream to buy.
Exactly.
This part, and
like we have seen in LifeSite, the also Caroline you interviewed, where you can imagine, you can show, okay, if we do this plan, I show you the plan also in a different way. You can, as you say, we go to the space. You can both go to a space. You can imagine that's the space with with all the spatial computing. You can say, I want to see that house. Yeah, so you don't even have to fully immerse, but you can go next corner. This is a house. You see, okay, these are all the parameters you have, and then this is a different experience because everything you feel is real, is there for you. You have a better grip on. It's not so much anymore abstract.
But Martha, are you saying, one of the issues with digital finance and digital money and everything, from credit cards, is that it alienates us from the money, right? The physical money. And actually, a lot of educators say that children should be raised with physical money so they have a sense and so on. So do you believe that this advanced technology will actually compensate for this alienation, the emotional detachment that we have?
Totally. You mentioned something before, haptic, yeah. So just as you say, you don't, I mean, with digital assets, you don't feel them, you don't, a coin, I mean, if I give my niece a €2 coin, she loves the coins. She doesn't want to have the paper money. She doesn't know that paper money is worth more. Yeah, so she's 6 years old, yeah. So she will learn quickly, but she loves the 2 coins because then she knows she can drop it there and there. So she has a direct link to it. And then if we also think about crypto, digital currencies, we are still human beings. So we like to feel, we like to touch. So if you can find ways, as you say, to translate in this augmented reality, what make it more real to you, that you can feel it, that you can touch it, that okay, this is if it's crypto or anything else, this is what I can buy for this digital currency. I can buy this house and it looks like I have dreamed of in my dreams, but it's there. It's just in front of me. It's very, very different what happens in your brain. So from that point of view, when you think about financial services, it could give you the bridge to your client, to exactly what you said, to make the digital world more real. And the consumer experience will be very, very different. So it's not only the avatar you talk to, but it's more about my personal financial situation, my worlds, and where does it lead me to? What can I achieve?
So we've always spoken about, data visualization and how it helps everybody understand what's going on. And here we're taking it to another level. It's a 3D level. It's an immersive level that really helps a lot.
Yeah, as we said, a graph is already nice because you think I'm going down or up, but visualize it in front of
towards the goals that we have
want to achieve in life. So you want to go into pension, this is what it looks like. You want to do this is what it looks like. The whole different area, we come from financial services, but it's for another day is healthcare. As we have seen before, healthcare is mind-blowing. So we always have to bear in mind also our health, our financial health is very important.
Right. Martha, as we said in the beginning, we could be talking for hours and days. Before closing, I'd like to circle back to that first vision of the world is your canvas, and hear from you again. What is the excitement, and how do you want people to start thinking of these technologies and the convergence and the possibility for really a better life, whether it's work life or entertainment or social?
I think what people always, technology is what we make out of it. So as we have discussed before, I think it's always important to test and to learn the different technology. And to your point, how can we make it, for me, the most important part is how can we make it more accessible to all, apart from the price? Because there are now all the different ways when you can't hear, when you can't talk, when you maybe don't have the money, when you don't have the means, like we see in Africa, you have so much access to digital, to your iPhone. So how can we make it more accessible? And then we can create a more equal world, you can say, and we can get better access, we can get better growth, we can have people who understand better and can connect much better. The connection is the most important, the exchange, the learning, and this is what we can create in a much, much better way. So with what we have in front of it. And the first big step to the new area is definitely the Vision Pro from Apple.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Martha. Very exciting times. Look forward to have you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Effie, for the opportunity. Thanks. It was great talking to you.